Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Okay, so fresh off the episode 3 novel, where do we go from here? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to drop the hammer. And where's the hammer drop? In Star Wars Insider 147. Written by Edward Endelak, this basically stars Jedi Padawan Jaladi Silman and his master Rayeli, as they are in search of, and actually discover, some Sith artifacts. Ooh, what's going to happen? Well, folks, I'm going to have to make an exception. Usually when it comes to short stories like this, I don't like to spoil the story. I don't like to spoil the ending. I talk more about what I think about it than the actual plot because I want you to be surprised. I'm going to have to make an exception here because when I talk about this short story, I have to reveal what happens, okay? So I'm sorry about that, and if it upsets you, tough. But anyway, so the Clone Wars have ended. During their adventure, they hear that the Clone Wars is over, and they discover the Sith artifacts. The Padawan puts it on, turns evil, and kills his master. And now he is the new upcoming Sith. He will take the fight to the Jedi or something. And then it ends. And I don't know what the purpose of the story was. Now hear me out. It was already 2014. Disney had already bought Star Wars. And maybe, this was probably written before that, I'm assuming. And maybe there was some idea to create a new bad guy for them during the prequel era. Or maybe later on in the Republic era. Or maybe this was supposed to be an ongoing villain to happen in the Star Wars Insider. I don't know. But the problem with this story is not that it was bad, because it was actually okay. It was okay. But the ending was confusing. It didn't end at all. And plus, am I to believe there's another Sith out there? Why make another Sith out there? Why do you think we had to have one if we haven't heard of one? I know there had to be more to that story than what we were told. Like, they had future plans, obviously, that never, came to being because, of course, it got switched over to Legends very soon after that story came out. So what the purpose of that is probably lost forever. It doesn't connect to anything else within the expanded universe. And it's just kind of, for that reason, just kind of weird. Only because there's supposed to be more. This is the beginning of something. We don't know what. We're never told. And if you think they create a new Sith bad guy, that would actually make bigger news than just be a short story in the Insider. So to me, this one is just, it's confusing to talk about. I remember reading it for the first time and being like, where are they going with this? But hey, oh well, it is what it is, right? All right, so from there, we're going to go to the Star Wars comic books. We're going to go to that lovely Republic series, issue number 78, written by John Ostrander. Now, in this issue, Darth Vader is basically introduced to the Republic by Palpatine as his right-hand man. And there is a captain in the Army of the Republic who's thinking about leaving because this doesn't seem to be the Republic anymore that he signed up for. Things are changing, and these changes aren't good. I don't even have to talk about if I like this or not, right? I just said Star Wars Republic and John Ostrander, which should tell you it's a pretty good story. In fact, that cover is very famous. I know that Marvel has reprinted the Legends comic books with that cover, issue number 78 on the cover, which I think is really cool because it is a cool cover. This kind of marks Darth Vader's first chronological appearance within the expanded universe because he is first introduced here. These events happen basically right off the heels of episode 3, maybe even before the end, where they're looking at the Death Star. He's already been introduced. And as for the captain that's having all these mixed feelings about his Republic and how it's changing and how he doesn't feel he's a part of it anymore and it doesn't represent his ideas and beliefs, I completely can empathize with that character because, if there was something that I loved that, got bought out and it had new ownership, it was heading in a new direction, and I went somewhere else, and people started calling me a traitor, and, that I have no love for that thing anymore. I can definitely feel what this character is probably going through. Now, after you're finished reading 78, go ahead and read issues 79 and issues 80 of Star Wars Republic, written by Wells Hartley, and basically it's starring just a couple of generic Jedi Padawans, Jedi Masters, who are now on the run from clone troopers who have now turned against them. Now they are being hunted. The heroes are now the hunted. And this happens basically 2 days after the end of the Clone Wars, so 2 days after the events of Episode 3, and they are all on the run, and not all of them are going to survive. Some do. Now you may say, oh Matt, yeah, there was a lot of these stories, right, about Jedi surviving the Clone Wars. It got kind of generic, right? Yeah, I can kind of see that. This was the first of its kind. I thought it was interesting. It makes sense that some Jedi are going to escape Order 66. It makes sense that a lot of Jedi would escape Order 66, right? Because we know Darth Vader is going to eventually hunt them all down. How's that for a happy thought? But we also know that clone troopers will not be a match for Jedi all the time. Sure, they can take some by surprise, which is what we saw in Episode 3. But it is conceivable that Jedi can outmaneuver, outthink a clone trooper and escape and get away, live to fight another day. And there are several stories like that we'll be talking about in the next couple of weeks that are very similar to this story. This is the first time I had seen it done. I thought it was very interesting. I was already hooked into the Republic series, so in my mind, Star Wars Republic could do no wrong at this point. And so everything that came out by them, I was reading, I was interested in. And this story by Wells Hartley is no different. I think it's a really good story and well worth your time. All right, folks, I'm going to stop right there, and I will see you next time with another video.